Our features are literally celebrated on everybody and everything else except for us, except for the originator, except for the Black woman. And this video is an attempt to describe the fact that we too play into this, and we too play into our own demise, especially when it comes to our lovely tresses. Now, today I want to talk a little bit about hair privilege, which I think we as Black women have, and I think we need to lean into it a little bit more. And we need to have a bit more of an empowered mindset when it comes to our very diverse, beautiful, and unique texture. Now, we've learned since the beginning of time, I know I did, my mom slapped that perm in my head as soon as she could, okay? I think I was, I don't know, 8 or something when I got my first perm, and by the time I was 14, my hair was see-through, all right? And I spent a good portion of my years finding the best Brazilian weaves, the best Indian, the silkiest, the longest, the this, the that. And as I grew and I think got more confident in my Blackness and everything it embodies, I was looking at old pictures and I was like, what is this I have on my head? Right? Like, so how many of us can really honestly, and I know it could be some triggering, but understand I am you. You are me. Like, let's be clear. How many of you guys look back at some of your old pictures and understand you had weave blindness or wig blindness, where you was walking around and you was looking crazy, sis, and everybody thought that it was okay. You thought it was okay until your lens cleared up a little bit and you realized, like, oh my God, this kind of hair does not really suit me. So let's get into texturism. We've learned so much that our hair is a burden. Our moms didn't quite know how to be gentle with it and use the right products to soften up our hair and to grow it and to retain length. So a lot of us are still dealing with traction alopecia, still dealing with breakage and hair that we're just not proud of because it's not healthy. And I'm here to say, like, just because our hair, we've learned to not be proud of it and we haven't really learned to take care of it, doesn't mean that we can't do that now. And it's like sometimes I'm looking around and not judging, but noticing the choices that we use for hair extensions, which I'm not opposed to. I have a ton of hair extensions, but all of my hair extensions are straight kinky or nappy yacky, all right? And because I like that, because it looks like my hair. That's how I can max out on my hair privilege or my pretty privilege. We look the best when we wear hair that looks like it could grow out of our scalp. I'm not taking away of the diversity of the Black race, because we have so many different textures, so many different eye colors, so many different everything, right? We spawn everything in this universe. So of course we can look like anything, but I'm talking about for the majority of us, when our hair naturally grows kinky or it grows coily or it grows super tight, super shrinkage. How do you think you look walking around with a Brazilian bust down? And I'm not gonna lie and act like I see it on Instagram and think it's cute. Like, oh my God, that is cute. But we have to understand, like, it's kind of foolish to walk around with that kind of hair when it doesn't grow from our scalp. Again, I'm not knocking extensions. I'm all for it, but have it look like your hair. Because I think subconsciously, forget about what other people think, which I think, we look a little foolish. But let's think about us. Like, what are we teaching ourselves that, oh my God, somebody's here, I don't have my wig on, I gotta throw my Brazilian hat on so that I look all right. Like, think about what that teaches ourselves about our beauty and about how we should feel about ourselves, that we can't even step out the house. Because I know for me, I would rather die than be caught dead with the hair that grows out of my scalp, especially when my hair was overly damaged, overly processed, and just tore up. I did not know how to take care of my hair. I happened to go to Spelman, and that was the first time I saw so many different beautiful women wearing their natural hair. I was like, oh my God. And I felt so encouraged. So that's really where the love of my natural hair was nurtured at college, which was a beautiful thing. But some of us aren't exposed to that. And I'm here to tell you, like, listen, your hair is beautiful. Our hair is beautiful. And that is how we look the most beautiful. So the next time you're ready for your Brazilian bust down, I'm not mad at it, sis, go ahead. But try a kinkier texture and just look how beautiful that looks. Look how you radiate better when you're wearing a texture that looks like it grows out of your scalp. Right? And it also leaves our hair in a healthier state, because then we don't have to straighten it so much to blend it in, and we don't have to perm our edges to make it match the rest. Like, there's so many things that we go through just to not deal with the reality of our hair. Who taught us to hate ourselves? Right? We know where it stems from, but eventually it became a self-perpetuating situation. And it doesn't have to be, because we look the best when we're wearing our natural hair. So I want this video to let you know next time you get that wig or you're looking for wigs, try something natural and just see how you like it, because it's going to look the best. Imagine if we saw a white woman, a European woman, wearing afro, like a kinky 4C afro, and she, you know, she had braids in the front, afro in the back, and it looked like, what the hell is this? This is like, she must be crazy. Like, how crazy did we all look at Rachel Dolezal? We remember her, the one who says she identifies as a black woman, even though she's white as all hell. And she had braids. She had like the lemonade braids, I think. She had like, it just was long as hell. It just was like, whoa. It just, she came off like she was special, right? Like, she came off as though she had some issues up here. And what makes you think that we're too not being received as that? And I think for us as Black people, we have to be very careful with how we conduct ourselves, because there's so much about our history, there's so much about our present that relies on us having some damn sense, right? So much about it. And this video is just attempting to break down something that's very large into very small pieces, and this is a very multifaceted thing, but this is one of them. And because my channel is more geared toward Black women, I hope that you guys can understand, like, listen, this is something we need to take back. This is ours. Why are we going to let other people celebrate our features, our pretty lips, our nice full noses, our beautiful complexions, our beautiful full body curves, and yet we're going to not wear and embody the hair that we have? Why can't we see the beauty in that? Why can't we see the God in that? Like, our hair literally defies gravity. It grows toward the sun. That's unique. That's beautiful. When I see a woman wearing an afro and she's banging, like she just takes over the room like it's nothing else. Or even our beautiful Black queens who got the baldies or got the locks, or even she might have a silk press, but it's hers. I'm not against straightening or any of that, but at least make it look like yours. It's fine if you want to do the fake hair, but make it look like yours is all I'm saying. I would like to see a world in which we left the Brazilian and the Indian alone. Leave the Indians alone. Leave them alone, right? Like, let's get back to a more natural look. I think it suits us. And another thing, so many of us talk about, oh, I don't care what men prefer, this, that, and the third. I do. I care what men prefer, and I'm sure you do too. And we hear so many men talk about, like, I really love Black women who wear their natural hair. And I believe that. And I, as a Black woman, I want to be more attractive to the Black man. And I'm just being vulnerable and I'm just being honest. So when I started to wear my natural hair, or a more natural look, it definitely attracted the kind of Black man that I like because of the mindset. I noticed that when I would wear a silky bust down, I would attract a different kind of Black man. And that one maybe wasn't always the most self-aware, wasn't the most like, yeah, we got this, we in this together, we're in this fight. And I'm somebody who just slightly a bit more, I'm not as asleep as the average Black person. So I like when I have a man who can see that in me and loves that in me. And how am I going to attract that kind of man who loves me and all my authenticity if I'm promoting myself and parading myself as something that I'm not? It just doesn't work like that. And that also blows over into relationships. Like, how are you going to attract the most authentic man if you're not even presenting the most authentic version of you? You know, it has to make sense here. And I know some people could say, well, Black men say that they like this or they're attracted to that, but you see them liking, you know, the straight hair or this, that. Yeah, but we're not really catering to them. We're not for them. We're for the ones who appreciate us in all our authenticity. So that way we know that we are attracting someone who actually likes us, who actually wouldn't mind procreating with us and creating, oh my God, another brown skin, another dark skinned child, and who's not afraid of seeing that reflected, another kinky headed child, and who's not afraid to see that reflected. Because you got to think, it goes deep with us. And there's many of us who's like, no, it's not that deep. It is. It's always deep. And if you're living here, you're going to wonder why you're not having deep experiences, rich experiences, more full-bodied conversations, because you're not understanding that we just scratched the tip of the iceberg. This runs very deeply. Our history is rich. It's traumatic. It's beautiful. It is expressive. It's so many things. It's a dynamic history that we have, especially as Black Americans here, obviously in America. But I digress a bit. However, this whole video is about Next time you looking at that bust down, you know, let's just walk past it and let's go to the kinky aisle. Let's do a kinky straight. Let's do a yaki straight if you want a press look. Let's do a kinky curly, right? Let's just try it. Let's just try it and let me know how you feel about kind of embracing a newer, different, more authentic version of yourself. So I hope that this video lands well, and if it doesn't, it is what it is, because I'm not here to make you guys comfortable. I'm here to help grow. That's part of my mission. That's part of my purpose. So I'm gonna live that regardless of how this video makes anybody feel. So if this resonated with you, or if you have something contrasting to say, or you agree, let me know down below in the comments. If you liked it, subscribe and share, and I'll be seeing you guys tomorrow.